very pleased now to be joined in studio by our two resident Phantoms aficionados, Kristi Fulkerson and Steve Degler, in the house for our Lehigh Valley Phantoms mid-season report. The orange and black officially reaching the midway mark of the season with Tuesday's tussle in Cleveland. So, guys, it's time to hand out some hardware based on the first 36 games of the season. Let's start with first half MVPs. And, Kristi, let's start with you.
All right, so this is a hard decision, as we know. There's a lot of good candidates for MVP, but I'm going with rookie goalie Sam Ersson. When this team won 10 of 15 games in the months of November and December, this guy was a big reason why. He was in goal for 9 of those 10 wins. He kept him in games. He was the Phantoms' best player on several occasions. We know through the first 6 games he split time with Troy Grosnick, who has not played since October 29th. So Ersson has carried the bulk of the load since then. He started 7 in a row on 2 different occasions. No wins in his first 5 appearances. This is after no wins last year in that injury-riddled season. But since then, the rookie then allowed 2 goals or fewer in his next 5, starting that 5-game win streak. We know he had his first home victory at PPL Center. You're seeing some of his big saves here. That was November 11th when he stopped 21 of 22 shots against Springfield. He's 23 years old, a 5th-round selection in 2018. He was huge in the 18 games he played with the Phantoms, went 9-4 in his last 13 before joining the Flyers, and he's doing okay up there, guys. 5-0 in 6 starts. So Sam Ersson is my MVP.
Yeah, he's been pretty good up there, that is for sure. Mine is a first-year Phantom, Olli Lycksell, who was a 6th-round pick of the Flyers in 2017. He played 5 seasons in Sweden, 221 games in the Swedish Hockey League. We noticed him first in the rookie games against the Rangers here in Allentown back in September. He actually began this season in the NHL with the Flyers and has appeared in 3 games overall with Philadelphia. And he's put up some really good numbers despite missing 4 additional games with an injury in November. He has been a point-per-game guy for most of the year. He's really clicked with Artem Anisimov after he joined the team in a 19-game stretch from October 30th to January 13th. How about 22 points, including a 4-point game and 2 3-point games? So he has been outstanding, scoring and primarily setting up his teammates. For me, the first-half MVP is Olli Lycksell.
Great choices, both of you, in goal with Ersson and Lycksell up front. I'm going with another forward, another Flyers draft pick in Elliot Denoye. What did head coach Ian LaPerriere tell us all last season this team needed more of? Skill. Lycksell brings it, and Denoye brings it in a big-time way. Through the first half of the season, leads the team with 13 goals and 3rd in total scoring with 21 points. He is also your club leader in special teams goals, 3 power play tallies, and he's also dynamite on the penalty kill. Yes, defending, but also scoring with a couple of shorthanded goals. He is tied for 4th among all AHL rookies with 13 goals this season, and he was red hot right out of the chute. Started the season with goals in 3 straight, and then had a dynamic stretch from mid-November to early December when he scored 6 times in 9 games. To win, you've got to put the puck in the back of the net. Denoye has done it better than any Phantom so far this season, and when he tickles the twine, Phantoms are 7-4-3 this season. So those are our first half MVPs. Guys, we expected to have a big impact. But what about those players who maybe weren't on our radar at the start of the season? Our first half biggest surprises. Degs, who you got?
Well, mine's a bit of an unusual one, and that's a guy we know all about. Jordy Bellerive has played in this league for 3 seasons against the Phantoms as a member of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. He was signed by Pittsburgh as a free agent in 2017. He's that grinder-type player, 3rd-line, 4th-line guy. 157 games at Wilkes-Barre Scranton, just 69 points. He signed an AHL deal with Lehigh Valley in August. Head coach Ian LaPerriere said, "I noticed him during his baby Pens days, and I'm glad to have him on the Phantoms." This guy does not put up flashy numbers, but man, does he work hard every shift, every single night, and he can really aggravate the other team. We noticed that most of all when he was playing against the Phantoms. He can get under the opponent's skin for sure. Maybe he doesn't always get the glory, but this is the type of guy you need in order to be successful in the American Hockey League. He goes to those dirty areas. He's willing to fight. He's willing to be physical, and he can also do well as a center or as a winger. So for me, just watching him as an opponent the last 3 years, a really, really big and pleasant surprise with the way he has sparked this Phantoms team in the first half this year.
All right, I like it. I'm going, though, with a guy we never thought we'd see in the Lehigh Valley this year, in Artem Anisimov. Surprised the 34-year-old came here, surprised he stayed, and pleasantly surprised with his production and consistent play. A former 2nd-round pick, played 771 career NHL games, hadn't been in the AHL since 2009. You know, the preseason injury on the PTO with the Flyers, ends up staying here, and he's done an outstanding job with the young players in addition to his point production, by the way. 12 goals, 18 points in 21 games. He's also completely changed the dynamic of the Phantoms offense, and that top line with Tyson Forster and Ollie Lycksell, those young guns that have thrived playing with him. He's got the ability to slow the game down. His confidence is contagious. And when the line isn't scoring, they're still creating. So Anisimov has played fantastic for the team. 15-year pro, by the way. So for me, big surprise, Anisimov falls in the Phantoms' lap, wants to stay, and making all the difference.
That has been a very pleasant surprise indeed. I'm going to the blue line for my biggest surprise, and it's Adam Ginning. He's an AHL rookie, but he's 23 years old, so a more mature rookie in the American Hockey League than the guys that come straight from juniors. He spent parts of the last 5 seasons in the highest level of pro hockey over in Sweden, but he didn't put up big-time offensive numbers there. 5 points in 51 games last year, only a dozen points in 50 games the season prior. But already at the season's midway mark, he's got a couple of goals and 11 points. But what stands out most, his plus-minus, which tells you he knows when to jump up offensively and knows when it's time to defend. At the midway point of the season, leads the team with a plus 15 rating. In fact, he's only been a minus hockey player in 8 of 34 games this season. And from mid-December until mid-January, a 13-game stretch in which 23-year-old blue liner Adam Ginning went plus 16. Oh, by the way, he also gets brownie points for chipping in on the teddy bear toss goal as well. He's a big body, a physical player. Mentioned he knows when to jump in offensively. I think most importantly for a young defenseman, it looks like he belongs. So those are our biggest surprises so far. Season's midway mark, Phantoms are currently in postseason position, so maybe some big-time moments to come in the second half. But through the first 36 games, what are some of the top moments for you guys? Kristi, we'll start with you.
All right. Well, as the person that interviews coach and players after the game, there's a special place in my heart for those lopsided wins. So I'm going with the 6-1 victory over Charlotte back on December 10th. And it's especially fun when a lot of things go right. It was a dominating win from start to finish. Lehigh Valley scoring 3 goals in the first period, all in the final 5 minutes. It was a coming-out party of sorts for Ollie Lycksell, one of those 3-point games you mentioned, Degs. Artem Anisimov had 4 points. That line with Forster accounting for 8 points, and they each had a power play goal. In total, 11 different players notched a point. That's balance. That's defensemen chipping in. The Phantoms scoring 6 goals on 20 shots, 3 for 7 on the power play. And defensively, they didn't give up much. Only 22 shots on goal. Sam Ersson was fantastic, stopping 21, marking the second straight game. Lehigh Valley held the Checkers to a single goal. They knocked over our camera that game. I didn't like that. It was the only bad part, but it's okay. We forgive them. It was part of a 3 straight wins for the Phantoms and a 4-game point streak. That was a fun night, so that's one of my top moments of the first half.
My top moment, my biggest surprise, too, is that Kristi didn't pick this game. It's always the teddy bear toss. Fans ready to go December 17th against Providence. Previous years, this has been out of the way early. Not this year. Had to wait a little while. And watch the bouncing puck. Face-off win, Elliot Desnoyers, then Ginning toward the net. Actually goes off of Desnoyers, and then Cooper Marody, and then into the net past Brandon Bussey. It comes at 14:41 of the second period. That's the longest we've had to wait for a teddy bear toss. But it all starts with the face-off win. Cooper Marody gets the goal, and then it begins, and it lasted nearly 20 minutes to pick up all of the Bears. Melvin, as usual, in on the fun. 8,004. Hey, who's that?
You're right.
Kristi was helping as well.
I did it fun.
Yes.
Right. That was a good night.
Kristi and Chuck picking up as well. 8,480 stuffed animals. That's the second highest total. All donated to Valley Youth House. They were delivered there in the following week. This is always a fun night, especially to see it from up above and all the animals raining down on the ice. So to me, that is my best moment. And hopefully, like Dan said, there's many more to come.
Always a great moment each and every year, and really glad Chuck came to work on that particular day. My top moment, it's actually 3 goals. How have we not talked all-star Tyson Forster just yet? Well, the reason being because I was saving it for this. My Tyson Forster highlight reel goal montage is my top moment of the year. Second home game of the season, scored that no-look left-wing snapshot for his first goal of the season. His second goal, even more spectacular. This isn't a blowout win by Bridgeport, but check out between the legs and then over the glove of Corey Schneider. Are you kidding me? He wasn't done torching the Islanders, though. Just this past weekend, tripped up, no penalty called. That's okay. Tyson Forster stays with the play. Kristi, you mentioned that tremendous chemistry he's had with Artem Anisimov and Ali Liksell. It's Liksell, the stretch pass to Forster, who goes fake forehand shot, fake backhand deke, and then slides it inside the right post past a former NHL goaltender in Corey Schneider. Tyson Forster, an all-star for a reason. He's got 11 goals on the season, and some of them some absolute beauties. So yeah, I'm cheating a little bit, combining a few moments into one. But Tyson Forster, for his highlight reel goal montage, my top moment. So it's been a great first half of the season, but as we mentioned, this is a team that's in playoff positioning right now. So as we look ahead to the second half, I usually make Doug do this during football season. I'm putting you guys on the spot now. Bold predictions for the second half of the season.
Well, I have a very, very bold prediction because so far this year, this team has really struggled against their Pennsylvania rivals in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, and Hershey. In fact, in 9 games against the Bears and the Penguins, they have 3 points. They're 0-5 against Hershey. They're 1-2-1 against the Baby Pens. 35 games remaining. 17 of them are against those 2 teams. So nearly half the schedule remaining is against 2 teams that they have 1 win against this year, and that was opening night at Wilkes-Barre Scranton. So it's been a while. I think this stretch coming up at the end of January where it's a lot of Hershey and Wilkes-Barre Scranton, they're going to figure out a way to beat those 2 teams. I'm not going to say they're going to get one of the 2 byes in the division. We're finishing first or second, but I think they will do enough against those 2 teams in the second half to finish either 3rd or 4th and have the first round series of the Calder Cup playoffs at PPL Center this year.
I like it.
Love that.
I like it.
Yeah,
All right.
I like that too.
I'm honing in on the month of March. I think it's going to be a really big month.
A lot of
March.
hockey.
A lot of hockey is going to be played. They play 12 games in the month of March. 8 of them are at home. 8 of them are against Atlantic Division opponents, and I think this team is going to earn points in all but one. They're going to go 9-1-2. They're going to dominate. They're going to be playing their best hockey.
I like that too.
They're not just going to get into playoffs. They're going to be playing their best hockey at the right time. It's going to be March Madness on the ice.
Who's the loss against? Because if it's at home, Dan can do that
I can't predict everything. I can't predict everything, but it's going to be fun.
Wow.
You guys are clearly in
mark my words.
lockstep. March,
Yeah.
big March, leading to
big
either the
second
3rd or 4th seed. We're going to need some goals if we're going
Yes.
to win some of those
Yes, we
games.
are.
That's where I come in.
Okay.
I think for the first time in Lehigh Valley Phantoms history, we're going to have not 1, not 2, but 3 25-goal scorers. This team has not had 3 20-goal scorers in 5 years. That was a year in which we had 5 of them. But none of those guys went north of 25 that year. I think between Tyson Forster, Elliot Denoyer, and Artem Anisimov, thank goodness he stuck around,
Yes.
I think we're going to have 3 25-goal scorers. It's been a great first half. We are looking forward to a whole lot more fun in the second half of the season.
And we're going to Vegas if we're all right, by the way.
Oh, heck
on our
yeah.
predictions.
If that happens, they're a shoo-in. Absolute shoo-in.